Why, hello there, Exile. So on stream, we got to level 85, and then I was recording some stuff, and I got to 86 on accident, and people have been asking me to do an updated guide explaining all the stuff, and that takes time usually. But people really want it. Like, a lot of people want to know it. So, what we're going to do is a compromise here. I'm going to demo this and kind of talk, and then I'm going to do like a one-take video, not hyper-edited, try to get through things. And usually Ellen would help me out with the timestamps, but he's sick in the new year, you know, starting the new year out strong, super sick. So I need one of you to help us out and get some of the timestamps of when I'm talking about stuff so that I could pin it or put it in the description. So, you know, group effort, please help with that. Because I would like to play the game today. I've pretty much just researched things and started working on like 3 or 4 more videos already, and that's all I did today. So I've barely played the game other than recording like a couple maps, which I didn't die on, so ended up getting a level. But as you can see here, we are destroying everything right now with the current setup. So how does it work? Well, we're using these stat stacking gloves called HOWA, and we're using some strength, some dex, some int here. And strength scales the local on the weapon. So you want, or what I got at least, is double cold on the weapon. So that will multiply by my strength because of what Pillar of the Cage God does. Then why do I have such big AOE? Well, the big AOE comes from a lot of it, Pillar of the Cage God as well, because it gives increased area of effect for int. And I have quite a bit of int. Now, why are we a Gemling Legionnaire now? That's because I'm going to push my int very high. I'm going to scale that with the unique chest. And I'm going to be walking around with like 1,000 mana or something. So right now we're at 2,836 mana. We have Mind Over Matter and 2,800 life. So we have about 6k effective HP. Mind Over Matter makes it so that my mana protects my life. So it's going to drain all my mana. Now, I am running around with a level 16 Tempest Flurry. That is because if I push it to 1920, I will run out of mana, and mana protects my life. So I don't want that to happen. So I can almost maintain my mana at the moment, just because of the low level. See, it is going down just a little bit. Now, I haven't picked up most of the nodes that I wanted to. I've kind of done my level tree and then made very minor tweaks. I don't have any of my gear set up yet either. I just put all my gear on from my Monk Invoker, basically. So this is my Monk Invoker gear with a little bit different tree from that. But I will go over that gear. My Amulet Enchant, for instance, at the moment does nothing, because it gave me, it protected some of my life with mana. And I don't need that because I have Mind Over Matter, which 100% does that now. So my enchant doesn't do anything, and that's a huge source of power. But I wanted to wait till I had a certain amount of currency, and then I also need a lot of skill points. In stat stackers in POE1 and in POE2, weapons or levels, very important, because you're wanting to grab as much stats as possible. Every little stat exponentially multiplies, basically. You want as many jewel sockets as you can get, and all that good stuff. So make sure you're leveling your character. If you do not have HOWA and you're leveling, by the way, which these are these gloves, if you do not have them, then you probably need to go flat, triple flat on your gloves, triple flat on your rings, and then I would focus a lot into dex greater than strength greater than int if you do not have these gloves. You have the gloves, then you're going to switch into basically how I'm set up. Oops, wrong one. Which is int greater than dex greater than strength. I had reduced my strength, but then I couldn't freeze stuff anymore. So I put some of my points back into strength and took them out of int. I had 590 int a little while ago. All right, let me explain every little thing about the build the best I can, and then I can start the stream, right? By the way, my full leveling of this character is all on stream. I've only been playing basically on stream, other than very little bits where I'm recording and doing these videos. All right, gear. So Pillar of the Cage God, see how it has double cold? One of those is from a corruption. You want a staff that has corruption. Since we're not stacking strength, we don't want 12% increased weapon damage, which is one of the outcomes. We want an elemental damage on the implicit, and then we want to put 2 cold in there because it's going to help us freeze. Right now I'm set up such that my Tempest Fury auto freezes things, including rares, and I'm stacked into lots of freeze buildup. Okay, the helm. So this helm, I'm valuing rarity way higher. That's why I'm not using the unique helm that gives me 3 things. Plus, I got a little bit more resist on it, and I got some life and mana. Not bad. What I'm using life and mana currently. I'm eventually going to go CI, which means my life becomes 1, and I'll also be mind over matter, and I'll have probably 10k mana. Amulet. So this anoint that I got here does 10% damage taken for mana before life. That was useful before I got the node on the tree, which I was telling you about. It's this node right here. All damage is taken from mana before life, but it kills your mana recovery. So once I got that, then I dropped these nodes over here, which I had while leveling, and then I need to get rid of this. Okay, my body armor. This is just a high evasion one, and the reason why I have this is because it gives a ton of spirit on my invoker. Because you get spirit per evasion with the ascendancy. This doesn't do a whole lot for me right now, so I'm going to replace it with the unique chest and probably get one that gives me 25 all stats, get 25 all resonant, and it is going to give me 25% mana. Increased mana. Then we got rings. Now rings are a huge source, and this is why we are not using the ring that makes chilled things explode. We don't need that, as you can see from the setup. I'm not using that, but I'm still chain cascading all over the place. We don't need that. We got a little bit of fire. The reason why we want fire is because of the bell. Okay? If we read what the bell does on this Shockwave, the ailments on this bell make it so that it converts damage. So it converts, where does it say it? Where is it? Hello? Well, this is going great. Okay, I'm gonna edit some of this out, I suppose. No, we're doing one take. Deal with it. Shockwave. Here we go. 30% more damage per elemental ailment. Okay. 60% of physical converted to the corresponding damage type. Now, I'm going to have Ignite because I have a little bit of fire, Chill, Freeze, Shock, and Electrocute on this bell. So I'm getting all this conversion. And then each ailment, each ailment gets 30% more damage. That's why you want every single one of those ailments. I am getting, on my charge staff, I have Electrocute build up. So this allows me to electrocute the bell. Oh, by the way, I have double bell tuck. I'll talk about that in a second. All right, other ring. We got life, and then we got 3 attributes on it. Okay? And that's pretty good. Now, the ideal one would have been all attributes, Dex Int. But this isn't bad either, especially because it has some lightning damage flat and lightning damage, so not a bad ring. And then I qualityed it up 50%, so it really multiplied those attributes well. This thing is where we're getting all of our damage from, basically. It's multiplying our attack speed quite a bit. So I have 0.51. Now I go to 0.17. I haven't stacked that much dex, so it's not that big of a deal. But we also have this adds 1 to 10 lightning damage. So let's just look at our skill right here, okay? We're at 50k. By the way, this is pretty low damage. I don't have any optimal stuff on the tree. It's good enough to clear and smash this content though. So we're good at the moment. Okay, 7,000 without the gloves, see? So almost all the damage is coming from the gloves. So for this setup, you need these gloves. If you don't have these gloves, then you got to do different things. You need to get 3 flat stats on this and 3 flat damage to attacks with good rolls on these rings. Then what you would do is you would go for Dex over Int, and you'd get some amount of strength. So it should be Dex greater than Strength, greater than Int. You want to attack really quickly with that to get the damage up. Okay, belt. Fire resist, really high. Life and mana, strength, chaos res. That's what we went for on this. Now, I'm going to get CI. So this chaos res on this is going to be useless once I get that. That CI that I keep saying is on the tree. Right here. Maximum life becomes 1, but you get to become immune to chaos. Okay, and then boots, we have strength. Oh, I haven't swapped my boots yet for my other character. Well, that's interesting. That makes a lot of sense. Well, where are my boots? These are my boots. Well. Huh. Am I Captain Cold with this? Oh, that's why I didn't switch, I guess. I'm not Captain Cold. But here's my other boots that I supposedly was supposed to be wearing. Currently not capped on cold if I'm wearing them. So I'll probably have to buy new boots too. Or figure out my resists. Alright, let's go over the full skills. We have Tempest Flurry, only level 16 because I'll run out of mana. Martial Tempo, more attack speed, more weapon damage. Less cost. Double Strike on Crescendo. Now, because of the range, see this gives plus 10 melee strike range, and it seems to scale the bolt on like the 4th attack, scales with AOE. I can hit things very, very far away and freeze them, and then start the Chain Cascade. What's the Chain Cascade, you're gonna ask? So, we have Herald of Ice triggering Herald of Thunder, and Herald of Thunder triggering Herald of Ice. Herald of Thunder, we have Cold Infusion. One Divine Trade. Sorry, guys. I need that. I need monies. We're trading in the middle of it. Normally I would ignore it, but I can't ignore one Divine Trade right now. We're going to be broke after we spend our monies. Okay. Okay, where were we? Skills. We'll do it live. Okay. So, Herald of Thunder. Cold Infusion, because it gives extra cold. But it reduces lightning. We don't care about that. We just need it to freeze so that it'll trigger our Herald of Ice. More freeze buildup. And then we have Ice Bite, so when we're killing when we're freezing something, which we will freeze because of this configuration, we also get another 35 damage as extra cold. Then we have Herald of Ice. We have increased AOE, push that AOE really hard. We quality this up to get super, and then we have another 12 quality from our Ascendancy, 2.4 base. Lightning Infusion for extra lightning damage. And then Innervate, so that when we're killing checked enemies, and trust me, this will kill things, it's going to give us, for 3 seconds, extra damage as lightning. Now look at the radius on this thing, 5.6. Where's that coming from? Well, the int, but I also went over here and picked up some AoE nodes, and I have some AoE nodes on these jewels. So like 9 there, and some of these other ones have them. 7 there, etc., etc. Okay? Why is this guy still in my body? Alright, continuing on the skills. Combat Frenzy. Now this is how we are getting power charges. So, this normally would give frenzy charges when we freeze, electrocute, or pin. And if we look at the passive, right here, it says that frenzy charges, power charges instead of in frenzy. Gain power instead of the first line, right here, this one. So, why do we need power charges? We need it for charged staff. Otherwise, you got to do other annoying shenanigans. There's something you can cast a ritual for it, or you could use a palm skill where you're stealing the shock Those are your other options, basically. Okay, moving on. Charge staff. So we put that on because it doubles our attacks. More skill duration. Calling strike, just because it's nice to have. Electrocute, because this disables things for 5 seconds if it happens, which is pretty good, but we're freezing them anyway, so we don't care that much. Blind, because why not blind them, right? Less accuracy, less evasion. It makes our evasion better. Why not have it? Now, this is new. This is new. So I got double curse set up. I'm going to do a whole video just about this topic. You get a mark, and then you get curses, okay? 60 seconds freeze buildup from this. So we freeze really, really quickly. This makes things do less damage. And this makes them slowed, but it also makes things expire slower on the enemy. So your freeze is going to expire slower on them, which is some pretty good stuff. So we're going to freeze really easily, and they're going to be frozen for a pretty long time, and all their actions are going to be slower. Now, we only really use that on bosses. And then we have increased effect, and then we are using we're using a weapon swap here, okay? Check this out in the tree. This is all curse effect. This is all curse and curse effect and duration. This is curse effect and duration, and this is curse effect and duration. So all that gives a ton of curse effect for our palm. So I just have another staff in here. Everything is configured to go to my first skill, except for when I do my palm. So I palm it, and then I switch back. Basically, it auto switches for me. Actually, it doesn't auto switch for me, because I just switched that out, and I didn't select that. So it doesn't switch back. Nice. Ruby. All right, now it'll switch back for me. So I palm, boom, 2. Hey, it's a good thing I'm going over this stuff, right? I'm checking things. And switches back. So palm, boom, and then do this. Okay, fantastic. All right, next skill. Double bell. Right now, I just did a video. Overabundance, this makes it so that you can put as many bells on your bar as you possibly want and drop them. So you can have like 10 bells with, yeah, you can have whatever, however many skills we got, that's how many bells you can have right now. So pretty interesting stuff. That's going to be patched. GGG said it's going to be patched. So we're only going to use 2 and pretend like it's patched. So this will work with 2 bells. This is the intended thing. So we're using a main bell, which is overabundance, execute, close combat, font of mana. Tempest Bell, font of blood, ruthless, and overpower. So we're stunning, getting a little bit of life regen, and we put both bells down and then just wreck them. We're using charge staff on that. Of course, they're also going to be hand to HOWA during that, and it will be an all-around good time. Why is it important that we freeze things? That's because we're relying on this node right here. And what this node does is, if they are frozen, all their elemental resists are gone. So doing that cool little HOWA thing on a boss where we freeze them instantly, they're going to take a ton of extra damage because it's going to be like they have no resist whatsoever. So good stuff. Good stuff with that. So the weapon swaps are set up here. It's really hard to see these. So I took out damage, right? I took out these nodes and these nodes, and some of these nodes, etc., to be able to get all these curse nodes. Now let's talk about the tree a little bit. Now, there's very, very big damage boost things. One of them is pure power. This would increase my lightning damage by 100% in one node. Plus these travel nodes are all like 12. Don't have that yet. There's another really good node here. More maximum lightning damage. Huge damage increase. And another really important node right here, lightning damage with non-critical hits is lucky. So we're going to have to change our entire pathing, basically, in what we're doing to accommodate that. Now, I plan to do some shenanigans where I focus on movement speed mostly. I will get some of that damage. I have to reroute my entire freaking tree. I'm not going to go through here anymore. I'm going to come through here probably and go around and grab these stuff. I need more levels to be able to do the tree that I want, so I need to continue to level. I also haven't swapped, like I said, any of my gear, so that is going to help things. I probably should show you quickly my jewels, so here we go. Jewel. 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 I don't know why I'm saying, why am I saying jewel when I mouse over the jewel? Jewel! It seemed like the natural thing to do. I don't know. And then I have this, okay? And this is giving me fire cold res. And I have this node just to get fire and cold res in these. And I just realized why some of my res is probably off. And that's because if I was Hand of Chayula, I shouldn't have actually taken those 3 points out. So I'm gonna have to fix that. So yeah, like I said, scuffed everything, not the best build, 30% optimized, but if you want to copy me, the link is in the description, and then I'll be streaming, and then here's how it is right now. All right, see you guys.